Hi, I'm Chen Xinhua. Well, what about in the connector industry? Have more than 20 years of work experience. Now I would like to take this opportunity to share with you. We have some developments in the connector industry, as well as some technical features of the connector itself. Feature. Okay. What about connectors? We must first define. What is a connector? Well, there's no official definition. But from my work experience, what about my work experience? I made a simpler one for the connector. Or sixth step, a personal experience of my own. I think the connector it is a past. A mechanical one. Structure. To achieve. Target medium. Unicoms. Components. This is my personal summary. You can't see it online. The so-called mechanical structure is the connection. It's the connector itself. It's a form of external expression. To achieve what? To achieve the target medium. This is our connector, its type. We often talk about connectors. It has something called an electrical connector. But what about in our daily lives? It also has something called a fiber optic connector, or an optical connector. Are the media they connect to different? What about here? The goal we're going to talk about is optical connectors. It makes this connection of light. What about our electrical connectors? It's an electrical connection. Of course, we are talking about electrical connectors here. And what about the mechanics? It is an external connector. A manifestation. What about the connector? What about its generation? Because we are talking about electrical connectors, so it's connected to electricity. The invention of electricity generation, and that LED to this application of electronics. What about the earliest electrical connectors? It actually is during World War II, on some military equipment, because it involves the application of electricity. That was the first electrical connector. This is also the current situation in the entire industry. More recognized connectors. The origin of this route, that's back in the 50s to the 60s, 1950 seconds to 1960s. This TV, computers began to be widely used and produced. So there will be a video signal, the generation of audio signals and data signals. Then it leads to the connector. It's starting to be used on a large scale. What about the earliest connector? We currently have evidence to check. Or it is more recognized by our entire industry. The earliest connector should be DSA, what we know now. This DB head, we call it head DB. This is the original connector. Of course, there is another coaxial one called BNC. This is a coaxial connector. It was first used in military applications. The earliest connector. What about the back? And with the spread of computers, this spread of computers, especially this main board we're talking about, PCB board applications for integrated applications. What about the connector? It began to be used more widely in large areas. What about this connector? It will slowly generate to different application states. So that's the challenge we're talking about. One is called the wire end. A brick is a PCB board. One is called the end of the line. The end of the cable is connected to our cable. Then the back connector starts to produce something like this, one by one. A dividing line, of course, with the current communication. What are the requirements for each electrical data? Cloud computing, all aspects of this, a variety of applications. So what about the connector? Also start, and there's a huge variety of this. A huge variety of branches coming out. Then we won't make one here. Too detailed introduction.